Opening with the queen's pawn controls the center and usually leads to a more positional development of the pieces. d5 establishes a presence in the center, controls the e4 square, and opens up the light-squared bishop. The queen's gambit offers up a wing pawn to attack the center and distract black from the e4 square. In the Slav defense, c6 supports the d5 pawn. c takes d5 releases the tension between the c4 and d5 pawns. c takes d5 recaptures the pawn and creates a symmetrical pawn structure. Knight c3 develops the knight toward the center and attacks the d5 pawn. Knight f6 develops the knight toward the center, supports the d5 pawn, and controls the e4 square. Bishop f4 develops the bishop to an active diagonal where it controls the center. Knight c6 develops the knight toward the center, attacks the d4 pawn, and controls the e5 square. e3 supports the bishop on f4 and the d4 pawn and allows the light-squared bishop to develop. a6 controls the b5 square, stopping any bishop b5 ideas from white, developing the knight and increasing influence in the center. This adds pressure by pinning a knight. This kicks a bishop. This is an equal trade. A solid recapture by white, bringing. This prepares the bishop for development. White develops the bishop and attacks the center. This offers an equal trade of pieces. A solid choice. That's fine. Castling kingside tends to be safer than queenside because the king is further from the center. Castling to the same side of the board is a more cautious approach. This takes an open file, a common method for activating a rook. This kicks a bishop. The clearly correct move for a threatened bishop. This attacks a bishop, winning a tempo when it moves away. This avoids clear danger. This moves the bishop to a better location, allowing it to control more squares. This is a fair move. After all captures, this is an equal trade, a straightforward recapture. The knight finds a new active square. This mobilizes the knight, allowing it to control more of the board. Black develops further. Right on target. One of the best moves. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move either. The rooks can see each other now. That's fine. This kicks a knight. The clearly correct move for a threatened knight. The clearly correct move for a threatened pawn. This threatens to capture a pawn and win material after the follow-up trades. This stops the opponent from being able to tactically win a pawn. This connects the rooks, which helps them work together. This protects an underdefended pawn that is under attack. A very strong play. This is the strongest option. This is a fair move. This threatens to capture a knight and win material after the follow-up trades. This prevents the opponent from being able to tactically win a knight. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move either. A solid choice. One of the best moves. A very strong play. Very precise. A solid choice. The piece finds a new active square. This offers an equal trade of pieces. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. This is an equal trade. After all captures, this is an equal trade. A clear recapture. This defends the attacked pawn. That's fine. This creates a pawn chain. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. This threatens to tactically win a bishop. This stops the opponent from being able to tactically win a bishop. A straightforward recapture. The clearly correct move for a threatened bishop. One of the best moves. White's knight has moved to a square with greater activity and control. A very strong play. Right on target. This creates a pawn chain, linked pawns that form a strong structure. This is an equal trade. A clear recapture. An active king is critical in the endgame. A solid choice. The bishop finds a new active square. One of the best moves. This is a fair move. The knight now occupies a secure outpost. This defends the attacked bishop. This is the strongest option. A very strong play. A solid choice. This moves the bishop to a more active square. One of the best moves. The bishop is not as active as before on this square. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move either. White's bishop has moved to a square with greater activity and control. This threatens to capture a bishop, and this moves the bishop to safety. That's fine. This allows the opponent to take an outpost with a knight. This overlooks an opportunity to take an outpost with a... This is a fair move. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move either. This misses an opportunity to increase a bishop's scope by... This activates the king in the endgame by getting it off of the back rank. The bishop finds a new active square. This moves the knight to safety. That's fine. Very precise. White's bishop. A very strong play. This is a fair move. Black begins maneuvering the knight toward a more active square. That's not a mistake. There were worse moves, but also something much better. This is not the right idea. Right on target. That's fine. This is a fair move. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move either. That's fine. There were worse moves, but also something much better. This is not the right idea. The bishop finds a new active square. The clearly correct move for... This is a fair move. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move either. A solid choice. One of the best moves. This takes an outpost. This defends the attacked pawn. This permits the opponent to take an outpost with a knight. This is the only move that works. This forces the opponent to double pawns. A straightforward recapture. This permits the opponent to win a pawn through a fork. Black will be winning a pawn with that fork. This defends the attacked pawn. This is the strongest option. A very strong play. The knight now occupies a secure outpost. Very precise. Right on target. After all captures, this is an equal trade. This is the strongest option. This evades the check from the knight. Very precise. Right on target. This takes an outpost, a square where the knight cannot be kicked out by a pawn. This makes a passed pawn. This is the strongest option. This steps away from the checking knight. This move puts the knight on a safer square. This move puts the knight on a safer square. That was a free pawn. Very precise.